Peace. Brought to you by I Am Phenomenal Unlimited. This is the Speak Your Mind podcast, hosted by the Queen, Shanice Gatewood Ali, and the God, I Be. Speak Your Mind, an open line podcast delves into the week's current events, trending topics, and the social issues that affect Black people in America. Peace, everybody out there. Can you hear me? Today is Sunday, November 21st, and you're tuning into the Speak Your Mind podcast with the Alis. Peace to the people, peace to the people. My name is the God I Be, and that beautiful woman right there is the Queen, Shanice Gatewood Ali. Today is the 21st, which is wisdom, knowledge, all being born to understanding. Wisdom is the manifestation of your ways and actions, and knowledge is the accumulation of facts and information. We know and understand that facts are not only just facts are not only things that we like, but facts are things that supersede all information as the truth. But then information can be various things, right? We have false information, misinformation, disinformation. You have to know all information so you can know exactly what is fact, right? And then you'll have a true understanding, right? And with that, I say peace. Peace to the Queen. What's the science?
Peace. I hope you hear me. You can hear me good?
Yeah, I hear you. Great.
Oh, great. Good. We don't want no problems this time. So, yeah, facts is real. Facts is real. And when we come on, we speak facts. We speak truth. And that's it. Like, today is a good day. Facts.
So we have some great guests. We're going to continue with our business month where, we bring people on here that have great businesses in the community. I was going to touch on a couple topics, but, I think I'll bring the guests on and ask them how they feel about these topics, right?
Yes. Okay.
So the first guest that I want to bring on, you didn't send me his bio, so I don't have the introduction for him. If you would like to introduce him, that would be great.
Okay. So is that Eugene Campbell we talking about?
Yes, that
is. Okay. So Eugene Campbell he is a business coach. So I'm going to let him pretty much tell more about himself, but I'm going to tell you how I met Eugene Campbell. Mr. Eugene Campbell, one of my good friends, brother, all of that. He had introduced me to Eugene Campbell, and he used to work in a school. So he gave me my second opportunity to go into the school and speak to the children, the fifth graders, about bullying. And it was pretty interesting to get their input on bullying and how they feel about bullying and things of that nature. And it was really good. Eugene kept me in a loop with a couple of things. Anytime when something come up, it kind of like worked with me because I do stuff with domestic violence. We are phenomenal women. He always introduced me to great people. So Eugene, definitely big brother. He keep me in the loop, keep me updated with stuff, and definitely is my backup. He definitely is a good person. And I would like for you to bring him on so he can talk more about ECCR and all the great things that he's doing as well.
Okay, so without further ado, here we go with Mr. Eugene Campbell. Salute. Peace, brother. How you doing?
Oh, you can't hear you.
Is something wrong with your mic? You got your mic set up right?
Oh, the mute?
Now the mute is on. I mean,
okay. It's off.
Just can't hear him.
Okay. Oh, you got cameras and you fancy. Yeah. You got all type of things going on over there.
Yeah, you fancy.
Yes, we can hear you.
All right. Well, first of all, family, thank you so much. It's a blessing and it's an honor to be here, and I'm excited. First thing I want to say, I have seen your items on Facebook, your jackets, the shoes. They, as the young people say, they are on fire, man. I see
Okay.
them, man. And I was like, I have a 22-year-old and a 20-year-old, and I'm still trying to stay hip. And I was like,
I know
oh,
that's right.
I got to get those. But I saw the color schemes and I was
Yes.
like, oh yeah, yeah. And who's that model you have? Whoever that model is, he's on his way,
That's right.
But I just want to say thank you so much for having me, and thank you for bringing the truth to our people
Yes.
in this day and time. What we need is information. My name is Eugene Campbell. I always say to people, no matter where I'm at, through and through, I am a Harlemite. 30 years working in the community, and it's a blessing to see a new generation like yourself coming along. I'm a business coach,
Hmm.
and I have spent 30 years working in Harlem, Harlem Children's Own Boys and Girls Club, Urban League, working just building nonprofits. I went to Audrey Cohen, which is now Metropolitan, to get my master's in nonprofit management. And then I had a health issue, and sometimes health, through prayer and medicine makes you go in a different direction. I had a stem cell transplant, and
Oh
I
wow.
was in Sloan Kettering Hospital for a month with no immune system. And I'm saying to myself, what am I going to do? So I decided, well, I couldn't go out to the public the way I did before. Why don't I just take all these 30 years that I have and see what I can do to work with other people to help them, save some time with pain and heartache. And so, as a business coach, what I do three things. One, I work with people who are looking to start a business or scale a business. Some people
Hmm.
come to me and they say, hey, I want to start a business. And I got to be honest, starting a
Mm.
business is not for everyone,
Nope.
Right.
but you take them through the process. Then some people have a business and they're looking to scale it. The second thing is, lead
Hold
generation,
hold up.
working.
Before you go on, some people may not know what scaling a business means, right?
Okay.
You have certain
Yeah.
knowledge of it already. Let's take it to the base
Yeah.
level. What does that mean?
So, thank you for, thank you for that question. So, when the pandemic took place, I was heartbroken when I rode down 125th Street and saw so many businesses that were
Hmm.
closed, gates down. And one of the things is a lot of businesses fail to reinvent themselves. They fail to go online. They fail to figure out how to reach their customer.
Hmm.
Scaling means you want to go from one level to another. So when I say startup businesses, a lot of times I'm working with people who just started. Maybe they have less than $100,000 in income. Some only got 500 when they start. But then there's other people who have been in business for 3 to 5 years, and they don't have an online presence.
Hmm.
And so what we do, we work with them. How can I find my customers? We don't have to leave our homes now for anything.
Right.
And some people were just like, no, I'm not going to deal with Facebook, and I'm not going to deal with social media. Kevin Hart said, that's where your customers are at. If your customers are there, that's where you got to reach them. And so what we do, we work with people to help them develop a platform. And I have virtual assistants that create ads, do scripts. And I'll just end with this. If you notice, when you go to Facebook and you just Google something, shoes, then all of a sudden you see all these shoes ads, because
Hmm.
Facebook is now figured out what you are interested in, and
Mm.
you all of the things that if it's a handbag, now you're just going to get handbags. So one of the things that we do is try to help you get online. The last thing I'll say is that I work with businesses, entrepreneurs, I say as well, because some people don't want to be a business. They just want to work as an entrepreneur. They don't want to have to deal with buildings, and they just want to work for themselves. I help them with EIN, credit and funding. And I'll just step back to say this. When I first start, and Shanice knows about this too, we had to self fund. That means that we were working, taking our paycheck, and putting it in the bank because we didn't have any money to start up with. And
Hmm.
so what we do now is we teach people how to get EIN funding. The same way you get credit for your Social Security, for you can get credit for your business through your EIN. And I'll just give you a simple example. Like, you have a lot of independent real estate brokers, right? And they are like, okay, I'm selling houses, but I got to wait 90 days. I got to wait, 120 days to get the money until the house closed. If I had a line of credit, that would help. Someone is driving Uber and they're saying, I need a line of credit because I want to rent vehicles. So what we do, we help them to make sure that they are set up properly. And to anyone out there, they may be asking, but what do you mean set up properly? I cannot tell you how many times I talk to someone and they say their business name is X, but they have a Yahoo business account. That's
Mm.
no. When you apply for credit, business credit, not your personal credit, you are using your company EIN, you are building it up. My understanding is that Amazon has bought a couple of companies, but they never use their money.
Hmm.
Use credit to make the purchase and keep all that cash, within the company. But what we do is make sure you are set up properly. Are you listed on 411? Are you set up as a corporation? Are you using your home address? Are you using a cell phone? And we just make sure you are set up. So when you apply for credit, just like when you see personal credit, it says, hey, you have been accepted to receive $100,000, and you say, wait a minute,
Hmm.
wait a minute,
Right.
how can I get 100,000? What they want you to do is fill out that application. So there's a computer checking. That computer is checking your name, your address, and you know, you said that it was your name of your company was the ECCR Group, but legally it's the ECCR Group Inc. So
Hmm.
anything that you have that's not correct will knock you out the box. And
Wow.
I'll just say, lastly, I do what I do because I want to see us succeed.
Hmm.
There are every year 650,000 businesses open, 550,000 close.
Wow.
Opening and closing. 40% of our businesses in our community closed during the pandemic.
Hmm.
So I want to do whatever I can to help us succeed.
Absolutely. Well, thank you for that. And I appreciate you coming on because this month we definitely want to speak on black owned businesses.
Yeah,
And so far we've been every Sunday we've been talking about black owned businesses, people
yeah,
who have our own businesses, because guess what? People don't know that you have your own business
right.
unless you put yourself out there. And then
Absolutely.
you got the Kwanzaa coming up, you
Right.
got Black Friday. So how about we just shop with one another and
Yeah.
keep that money rolling into
Absolutely.
our community? So that is one of the reasons why I gave November,
Hmm.
well, we decided to have November as our Black
Hmm.
owned
Hmm.
businesses month.
Right.
I would like to do it again in January. I spoke about doing a business susu so many times, and I'm sure somebody's going to actually do it, but a business susu, and it's like I don't have to go to the bank and ask for the loan, because if we get 10 people putting in whatever amount of money, if that individual have a proposal, if that person have all the information, EIN, whatever they have or
Hmm.
need for the bank, they could actually
Hmm.
come to us and we will give them that money and keep the ball rolling every month.
Right.
But I mean, nobody, it went into deaf ears. Some people say
Right.
yes, but I want more than just two people. I want at least, if we want to see something great, at least 10 people. But maybe I should start with just two and then have everybody to talk about it. Never know.
Well, you call that micro lending, and I think the Caribbean American Chamber in
Mm-hmm.
Brooklyn is doing
Mm-hmm.
it. There's quite a few places. The only thing I'm going to say to people is make sure that you have linkage agreements. You have agreements so it's spelled out real clear.
Mm-hmm.
That if
Mm-hmm.
someone says, first of all, is the money a gift? Is it a loan? Uh,
Mm-hmm.
there's no risk involved. So just to make sure that you consult with attorney with any setups that you're doing. But I think that's a good idea. The other thing I'll tell you that you can black owned. If you have a black owned business and you've been in business for more than 5 years and you're a for profit, you should seriously think about becoming a certified minority vendor. So,
Mm-hmm.
for example, in the city of Philadelphia, the city spends almost $44 million on contracting around the airport. But
Mm.
the city spends 44% of its contracting out in the community. We in Philadelphia, we only make up 4%, and we have less than 2% of the contracts.
Wow.
In New York, I know that Bellagio was trying to create more opportunities for minority vendors who are certified to be able to get a lion's share of the funding. So take advantage of the fact that if you're a certified minority vendor, get out there and use that. Get those big contracts. When you look at all the money coming from the CARES Act and everything else, those are great opportunities. And that's what we try to work with you on. And I'll just give you a quick example for anyone's out there. If you have a SAM account, you're registered with the federal. One of the things that you can do is you can set up a search on all federal contracting that match you. The SGA has a vendor matching program. So let's just say you do cloud mitigation, and but you can't get in with Amazon. What you can do is go to the SGA and some of the other agencies and find a matching program, a mentoring program that someone will help bring you in as a subcontractor on the contract.
Mm.
So,
Wow.
yo, Uncle Eugene, man, you dropping so much
Much
information.
right.
So I gotta put respect on your name, call you Uncle Eugene. But
Yeah, man, it's all right.
I gotta
Yeah,
bring it back, right? You dropping so many jewels, right? Like in the beginning of your first spill, you said EIN,
yeah,
right? You said EIN. Some people who never got into the business realm, they
right,
may not even know what an EIN is. And this is so basic to the first level. So please
absolutely.
explain that for those who don't know.
Okay, so the thing is, what make how the IRS identifies you and how you identify yourself for bank loans, for funding. You need an EIN, and I call the EIN. The EIN is your social security for your
Mm-hmm.
business. You
Mm-hmm.
have a social security that identifies you. You go somewhere and they say, "Hey, give me the last four of your social." That's identified. But when you have a business, you have an EIN, which is your employee identification number. This is
Mm-hmm.
the number that you will use to pay taxes, to be able to apply for loans, be able to apply for grants, and so what we do is the same way you apply for credit for your Social Security, we apply for credit for your business
Mm-hmm.
and using the EIN. That's very important. And I'll just say this to you: there's a lot of people that are working out there and they don't have an EIN. I'm not trying to tell you what to do, but you could be wound up paying a lot in back taxes if it's not set up properly. The last thing I'll say to you, because I'm in the business of trying to help people save money, you can get the EIN number from the IRS and it is free. It
Mm-hmm.
is absolutely free. You don't have to pay anyone. And let me just say, because you raised, let me just give a quick example. So someone is at home and they decided to create this baking company and they're doing it well. They're doing it at home and they're selling neighbor to neighbor. Now they say, I want to create a business. So now what they need to do is apply for EIN under the name of this business. And now they can
Mm-hmm.
go out and they can start saying to people, yes, this is the name of my business. You can now get a bank account. You can get a credit card. You can get things that you couldn't get before when you're not incorporated.
Right.
Absolutely. Thank you.
So
Wow.
one more question. I know you want to ask him some questions. He just dropped so many jewels. I just want to flesh it out, right? I know from personal credit, right? I don't know too much about business credit. I know for personal credit, they got the agencies that you check your credit rating, uh, Experian, TransUnion, the Equifax. I go
Right.
through Credit Karma so I can keep constant looks
Right.
at my credit rating or whatever. But
Right.
what do you do when it's a business? Like, because you said that your EIN number is like your social
Right.
security number, and that gives you your credit rating as a business. What is the agency that you look at to find out your business credit rating?
Okay, so one of the things is you're done. You when you
Dunn's number.
here's the process. You get an EIN. You got an EIN. Now, what you do is you say, "I want to become a legal business." And so, one of the things that you do is you go to the state. You get incorporated. Right now, you're a business. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what you do is you go and get a DUNS number. And
Mm-hmm.
the DUNS number is the number that's used to report all of your business credit activity under your EIN. So the DUNS number,
Yep.
DUNS, you need that when you are doing business. And once again, it is free. Why do I keep using the word free? Because when you Google these things, you always see at the top, pay me $5,000 and I'll get your EIN and pay me. So I did this on my own. And what I say,
Mm-hmm.
what makes me a business coach is I made so many mistakes.
Right.
I made so many mistakes that I'm trying to save you time. So when I filed for my incorporation, I didn't know you're supposed to have ink on the end, and they sent me back the paperwork. And then, I mean, we went back and forth, but I learned. So the Duns, and you can look up any business, but that is where your
Mm-hmm.
business credit is going to go to. So I mentioned the SAM system. In the SAM system, they're going to ask for your DUNS. If you're applying for an SBA loan, they're going to ask for your DUNS. And that's why what we try to do is work with people to make sure that you are properly set up, to make sure that your business is set up legally and it is set up correctly. For example, a lot of people use Gmail accounts for their business. And there's a lot of institutions that do not accept Gmail accounts. What you can do
Mm-hmm.
is get your own email and use it on Gmail. So my email is Eugene at ECCR Group, but I use Gmail Suite, So everything is going through Gmail, but I don't have a Gmail address when I'm doing business.
Mm-hmm.
Mm,
Okay.
that's the truth.
Okay.
And this is like and I appreciate you slowing me down because that's one of my shortcomings is just like here's what you need to do. But normally you spend like 90 minutes talking to someone and laying this out. And I just want to end on this. I ask people, what's your dream?
Mm-hmm.
What's your dream? And so many of us have had dreams of starting our own business. It don't have to be just starting a business, it could be expanding a program at a church. What I do is help you get it out of your head and on paper. And then from paper, let's get into an action plan to make sure that we can get this started. The only outcome for me is, did I help you start a business or a program?
Mm,
There's no other way to evaluate what I do, is did I help you start a business or build a program?
what you
Mm-hmm.
mean? What you mean by that?
Well, what I mean is that, um, you know, I too have been disappointed by people on the internet offering me all of these quick get schemes that, let me say, I know people who have spent thousands of dollars and someone has sent them a bunch of links and a notebook and said, here, go start your business. Okay.
Mm.
How do you measure that as an outcome? Okay. So what I want to know is the best referral is going to be somebody who's satisfied with my services. So when you came in and you said, are you, what's your goal? Do you want to start a business? Once we get to the point that we feel you're ready to start a business, have I achieved that outcome? Some people just want me to work with them on the business plan, but whatever the service is that you came in for with me, were you able to get that? And that should be the outcome that I should be measured by. I'll just end this way that I'm a business coach at the Community College of Philadelphia, working with startup businesses. I don't have to do any marketing. My referrals come from the students that I'm working with.
Mm-hmm.
So people are satisfied with what you're doing, and they feel that our credit suite, what we do credit, we with Credit Suite. We are an affiliate there. They are AAA on the Better Business Bureau. So we don't have any negative remarks. So you want to be able that sure that you do that. But somebody's always got to hustle. That's why I said several times, when you on the internet and you want to file for EIN and you see that someone has an ad above the IRS and they're charging you 1,500, scroll down, go to IRS. It's free. When you see somebody says, "Well, I'm gonna charge you 2,500, and let's go to the state and get you incorporated," scroll down, and you'll see that you can apply for this, on your own.
Right, because I did the same thing. And I want to say thank you for pretty much. And
Yep.
while you were speaking, I was looking up my DUNS number. So I am official. So I was
Yes.
looking my stuff up to make sure it's there. So
Yep.
I want to definitely say thank you for
Yes.
sharing so much. I
Thank
don't
you.
want you to leave. I want you to
Mhm.
stay on, and
Yeah.
we have our guest Joseph.
Sure.
He actually do candles, and this is also somebody I know. This is
Right.
somebody I knew from my old job, American Museum of Natural History, and I want to bring him in. So maybe some
Absolutely.
some things that he might not have that you might go help him with. You never know how this
Absolutely.
could work out. But I want to ask you, Eugene, before we mute you, could you just tell us how can people reach you?
Okay, my website is www.eccrgroup.com. You can see
Hmm.
right there on the shirt, eccrgroup.com. My phone
Hmm.
number is 845-820-6696. And my
845.
email, Eugene at Group. So I
Okay,
appreciate it. Thank you so much.
you're welcome. So, Mr. Ali, can you bring in our next guest so we
Absolutely.
can
So I'm gonna
thank
read
you?
his bio real quick, and then I'm gonna bring him on. So his name is Joseph Core, and he is the owner of JRCoreCandle Candle Company, formerly known as Zen Paradise Spa. He is a Reiki. I can't say that name. Reiki master. Maybe he'll get clarified for me. And candle maker. He creates energetic, meaningful products to create a better and higher meditation experience. He has been an energy healer and a practitioner since 1998 at the age of 18 years old. The journey has led him to help those achieve a bountiful life through meditation, healing, and the candle line is closely linked to the healing work that he does. Every candle has a story and a tell all, and all of them are smoke cleansed through smudging and energized through chi, universal energy of life force. His candles are designed to remind you that the power that you possess, being empowered, is an important tool to attain. The candles are free from harsh chemicals, synthetic materials, and are vegan friendly, never tested on animals, and made with coconut and soy wax derived from organic farms here in the U.S. He has been established since 2021 and looking forward to help those who need a gentle push on the road of peace, tranquility, self, love, and empowerment. So without further
Nice.
ado, I would like to introduce this brother, Joseph Core.
Yeah,
What's
yeah.
up, everybody?
Hi. How
Hey,
are
how's it going?
you?
I'm great.
Going
It's good
good.
seeing
I
you.
hope you, yes, I hope you heard some of the great things that Eugene Campbell was talking to us about.
Yes,
So
I did. And him and
good.
I, we actually have the same struggles because
Yeah.
when I first started, I made a lot of mistakes,
Okay.
costly
Yes.
mistakes. So
Yeah.
he has really good information, and we definitely need to connect. So,
Absolutely.
Okay.
I would definitely have to keep a contact for sure.
Sure.
So what do you have there? I see
So these
candles.
are so these are my candles. I'm
Hmm.
not too sure. My setup is terrible, and I hope you guys can hear me good. Can hear me, right?
Yes, we can hear
All
you.
right.
Hmm.
So this is my 16-ounce candle. This is cigar and midnight whiskey. So
Mm.
even though they have like the purpose of the candles are extremely for meditation and things of that good nature, and getting on the road to empowerment. But they still have really nice names that anyone can relate to. So I definitely
Mm-hmm.
wanted to include that in my line. Also, I every candle has a story, and this
Okay.
one is determined, as you can see. So these are my 8 ounce, or yeah, my 8 ounce candles.
Mm-hmm.
And as you said, as you mentioned in the bio, none of my candles have any harsh chemicals. They're vegan friendly, and
Mm-hmm.
it's suitable for pets, or even kids. Because you'd be
Mm.
surprised of the amount of chemicals that we inhale, that we ingest and digest. So I wanted to create something that is Reiki infused, which is
Mm-hmm.
positive healing energy, and also and your house looking nice and smelling good.
Absolutely. I love it. So, yes, yes. So, I do know you have a website. We're going to get into the website a little later on because,
Okay.
the holidays are coming up, and it's always
Right.
great to have. First of all, it's always great to have candles anyway. I mean, I was such a
Yes.
candle I am still a candle person, but
Right.
I was like more of the exotic. So I had the zebra light, all these different candles. And you know
Right.
what? When
Right.
we had our blackout, guess who was in guess who? Right, exactly. So when we had the
Yes.
blackout, I had my candles on deck. So I had light in my house.
That's an essential.
Right.
I
So I
want to
want
say,
you, huh?
oh, you was gonna ask a question because I was
No, no,
gonna
no.
ask.
Go ahead.
So I want to say, like, I love candles too, and
Mhm.
I like when the candles have good scents, and I can put on like a red
Hmm.
light or something, and cut on
Right.
some Sade or some Jill
Right.
Scott or Erica vibe
Right.
too, and give
Right.
me
Right.
a cloud vibe. But I said the word wrong. What is Reiki? I don't know what that means. I'm from we don't know about that. What's
You know, believe it or not, far and few people know about Reiki energy. And I've been associated with Reiki ever since 1998, and I actually learned the art when I was an intern at a hospital. Um, and this was at that time where um, insurances weren't covering holistic therapies and things of that nature.
Mm,
So they were just, making everybody high and giving everybody, all types of medications and steroids and all kind of, and the people got addicted. So
mm-hmm,
eventually, I actually had the opportunity to work for a holistic social worker at a hospital, which they actually included Reiki. So Reiki is defined as natural energy, like the chi, which is everyone's universal life force. It takes energy for us to live, to breathe, to walk, to exercise. Our energy is constantly being produced in our bodies, and the question is always, where does chi come from? It's universal. You're born with it, you have it. But with Reiki, with practice of meditation, you're able to channel the energy from the universe into other people who need it the most.
mm, mm. That's
And
deep.
it's just touch.
Wow.
It's just touch. If you know anything about the chakras, like the crown chakra, the throat chakra, the sacral chakra, these chakras are energy points that everyone needs. That energy needs to pass through to give
Mm-hmm,
you and what your body what you need. It's like cancer.
mm-hmm,
People think, oh, cancer cells. Cancer cells are cells that are alive,
mm-hmm,
okay, and they are run by energy, and they have a certain friction,
mm-hmm,
and if it's too fast of a friction, it's going to grow because energy is feeding it. But if
mm,
you but usually in when I used to have a practice, just simply touching someone, in certain areas, slows down
wow.
that friction. So it's been something that I've learned. Oof, and I was
Wow.
only 18 years old. I was 18 years old when I learned the practice, and it stuck with me for all my life.
Wow.
well, I
That's
got
deep.
a lot of questions
Yeah.
about that, but I'm gonna pass it on to the
Yes.
because I know you have a lot of questions.
Wow.
business. So go ahead.
I appreciate that because you know what? That's why, when I was going to church heavy back in the
Hmm.
day, they used to be like, you can't have just anybody touch you. And at one
Hmm.
point, I was one of those persons before I even went to church. I didn't even like for people to touch me anyway
Right,
because
right,
their energy, you
right,
know,
right,
and I like to be
right.
butterfly-ish. And then when somebody touched me with their mess or that
Yes.
energy, I start
Yeah.
feeling it and I start getting down and I call my husband and I'm like,
Yes.
and I'm like, wait a
Yes.
minute, what happened to me?
Right, right. And that's
So,
why I created this candle line because
mm,
it's not a miracle. It's not a cure, it's not a miracle.
mm,
I created these candles as a tool, as
mm,
something that it's about intuition. It's about using tools to help you or amplify your connection with energy, whether your
mm,
energy or your higher power.
mm,
All of that is energy. It's like, you know have you been had that one friend, they're
mm,
constantly calling you, oh, he cheated
mm.
on me again.
Ah, man.
uh, it's been, mind you, she's telling you or he's telling you, like, for the 15th, 16th time. And it's
Mm,
like, and it kind of like drains you in a way,
mhm.
and that is the energy that you need to cut. Like, people need to learn how to cut from their life negative energy. And these candles will help you. This is a reminder of who you truly are,
Mhm.
and this is a tool to help you and the universe connect.
I'm laughing because I have heard my husband say to someone, "This is just draining. This is,
Yes.
and I'm like, "Ooh."
Yeah.
But I just want you to tell us a little bit about you and your background.
Well, so I'm still working the 9 to 5. I haven't hit the big break as of yet, but I will,
Mm-hmm.
because and you will too. You and your husband
Energy,
will. That
energy,
energy, you
yes.
need that energy.
Bring
It will
that energy
happen.
for all of us, yes.
It will happen. So pretty much, like you've mentioned before, I worked at the museum for 16 years.
Wow.
And it was just time for me to venture out and do something different.
Mm-hmm.
And I followed a lot of individuals who helped people like me try to find, their way in this niche, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And I just decided, I was like, you know what? I mean, I have a lot of talents. I do resin art, and I make jewelry. I've been doing that for a long time, but
Mm-hmm.
this has like really stuck out to me because I've noticed that people are very, very are not in tuned with their life, like their their um, their connection with the higher power.
Mm-hmm.
So I decided to do that. So I mean, I just pretty much, I'm still a 9 to 5, and but I'm really like dedicating myself to this so I can be my own boss
Mm.
and help
So
people at the same time.
absolutely. Healing. That's what
Healing,
we all
yes.
about. Healing. So I would love for my husband to quote something that we was watching yesterday on
Mhm.
this 9 to 5 millionary. What was it again? Eh,
95 millions.
Right. So it was something that he said when it came down to the percentage. Can you break that down? And you mentioned it to me yesterday.
What was the percentage thing? What?
He said 60% of you putting in the 9 to 5 and
Oh,
Oh, yes,
hold
yes.
on. Yeah,
you
yeah,
know what
it's
he
really good.
said, right? No, he was. This was about the hours, right? He said that
Hmm.
he was working 40 hours a week at his 9 to 5, but then he was coming home to work 60 hours a week at his business, right?
Hmm.
So basically, he's putting 100 hours in at work. He had no time for himself. His wife was looking at him funny. His kids wanted the GI Joe and they wanted to go out and play and all of the things. Yeah, he just didn't have time for it. When he talked to his family, he was aggy. So he had to figure out
The
how
balance.
to make his business profitable, the balance. I'm
Right.
able to put more time into your business or more time into your 9 to 5? How do you
Right.
work this thing out where you make your business profitable,
Right.
but you're not spending all your time and energy? Because if you're working and spending all your time and energy in your business, it's not really a business. You are self-employed. You're an employee,
That's true.
Correct.
right?
Hmm.
So let's
Correct.
figure that balance out. How can I make this business work and be profitable without me being the one that's doing all the
All
work?
The
the work.
work. Right.
Mm.
Right.
Ain't that something?
So
That
That's
that that's
what's your
so
input on
true.
that? Yeah. What's
Oh,
your input?
you know what? I totally agree with that. I was also reading and doing some research when I first started, and I forgot this woman's name, but I think her name is Lynn Taylor, or I know definitely it's Lynn, and she is an African American, one of the top financial people in the United States.
Mm,
And she actually mentioned something. She was like, "Keep your 9 to 5. Let your 9 to 5 profit, you. Let it
hmm.
profit you and your business.
Hmm.
Use them to get where you want." And
Hmm.
when she said that, something clicked, and I was like, "Wow." So,
Wow.
there's so many things that we do, like we become slaves at work, and we work, work, work. And someone pointed out, why are you working so hard for a 9 to 5 that 9 times out of 10 don't even pay you what you're really worth?
Absolutely. This is
You
true.
know? And
It's funny that you mentioned that because one of my coworkers just last week, she was going through the motions.
right,
And I said to her over the weekend, figure out what you want to do, right?
exactly.
And because you remember, Joe, when I was working at the museum, I will always be in a cut somewhere and I'm reading, and I'm doing this and I'm doing
Yeah.
that. And I didn't have time for the foolery. I was by
Yes.
myself
Yes.
half the time. So what
Yes.
I did was I went in there in the museum with no degree. I left out
Right.
with two.
There you go.
You know what I'm saying? So with that being said,
Congratulations.
thank you. And with that being said, now I work at this place and I'm getting my master's. So you got, like we said, and I was a porter. I was doing broom and dustpan all day, sweeping up
Right.
people's stuff, cleaning up people's stuff, but I made it work for myself.
Right.
And like I told my coworker, find out what is it that you want to do, and every day you come in with the concept of
Right.
I'm going to get closer to my goal or my journey or whatever it is, and go to work happy because
Right.
this job is not your in or be all. You have
Temporary.
something else.
Yeah.
And you got to discipline yourself. And she was like, wow, and they called me Shanice. Wow, Shanice. And I'm like, listen, girl, you got to make it work. But I want you
Right.
to tell us about the name of your business and where did you get that name from?
Okay, so the name of the business is JRCoreCandle Co. And you can find me on JRCandleCo.com.
Mm-hmm.
And I just wanted to quickly mention that all of the candles have a story. They
Mm-hmm.
all have a particular sentiment to me. They all have a value from me to you.
Mm-hmm.
So, for instance, this one is called Determined, right? It's an 8 ounce.
Mm-hmm.
You want to see it inside. It smells really good, and I test
Mm-hmm.
the heck out of my candles. Like, I test it like for
Mm-hmm.
every single wick. How does it smell? How long does it take for the melt pool to arrive?
Wow.
How hot does it get? I go into like different rooms to see how. So trust me, I do my homework. Oh,
Mm-hmm.
this one smells really good. So,
that's the kid.
and I'm
Well,
gonna,
nice,
Anthony,
right.
right? I'm gonna send you a candle as a gift.
Oh, thank you.
So I
Yes,
definitely
yes.
want you, and you can give me any feedback you like. But all
Okay.
of my candles, like this, for instance, this one is called Determined. So Determined
I
to
like
me
that. Mm-hmm.
means anyone that has um, issues with themselves,
Mm.
in the inside of their heart, and they're not determined. And I hope that when they buy this, they look at it and it gives them a reminder that, you know what, I am going to be
I
determined.
am.
I
Ooh.
am going to do what I need to do and this, when they see this, it's a constant reminder,
Mm-hmm.
right? It's like people wear rosaries. you know,
Mhm.
like a rosary. People wear
Mhm.
rosaries because it's a reminder that God is protecting them, God is loving them,
Mhm.
or
Mhm.
whatever the case may be. And this one is called Beautiful Mind, right?
Mhm.
And I specifically created Beautiful Mind, and I named it this because all of the people, you know, in my life that I've come across, and the ideas that they shared, and the things that they helped me with, you know, just their mind was so beautiful. So I wanted to
Wow.
share this. So it's like so my candle line is like an homage to so many people who have helped me in my life, so many
Mhm.
people who have encouraged me, even for those people who really didn't believe, because guess what? I was determined.
Determined. That's
But
right.
I
I
was
love it.
determined.
I'm not gonna front, like when I hear you talk about your candles, I feel like Zen. Like I feel like I feel like you just want to do some mindfulness meditation and all that. And I salute that.
Right.
It tells me that you really love what you're doing
I
and it
do.
comes off in your product.
I
But my
do. I
question to
do.
you is this, right? I know that you've had some sort of pitfalls. You've had some stumbling blocks
Yes.
along the way. So could you tell us
Yes.
about some of those stumbling blocks and how you got over them?
Yes. Well, you know, before I officially 100%, I've always sold candles. I just didn't put enough emphasis in the candles at you know, at a certain point in my life.
Mhm.
I've actually owned a spa, and I had a storefront on the Upper East Side.
Mhm.
And that was great, but unfortunately, COVID, you know, really,
Mm.
it just brought me down. And then I thought about it, and I'm like, you know, I'm still paying my rent every month. You know, the
Mhm.
government got us shut down, and I'm
Mhm.
losing so much money.
Mhm.
And I just at that time, it was time for me to reflect on what I needed to do, and to think about what, you know, how I could make, you know, have a business without spending so much money failing.
Right. Mm.
So that was definitely a pitfall for me, because at that point I had, you know, I had the traction. People knew who I was. I made, you know, people would come see me that lived in the neighborhood, met great people, and it was becoming very, very popular. But unfortunately, you know, COVID, you know, and then of course, you know, I'm human, and sometimes I think, oh, you know, why did I do this? You know,
Mhm. Mhm.
another pitfall I fell into. But you
Mhm.
know what? And that's why when I reevaluated who I was, and reevaluated the business, I wanted to do something where I could help other people and
Mhm.
encourage them, because I think that is my life's calling, is to help people. So I wanted to do
Mhm.
something with candles, but a lot of pitfalls. You know, spending a lot of money on like, you know, just spaces, and just not even knowing how to do my financials correctly.
Mm.
That's why your previous guest, he brought so many good points. Like,
Mhm.
he was 110% spot on.
Mhm.
So I really hope to connect with him, because I could definitely use any. We all could use help, you
I'm
know, in
bringing him
this
back on.
industry.
I'm gonna bring him back on. Hold on for 1 second.
All right, cool.
Wow. Thank
Hear
you.
that?
That was excellent. I have a suggestion.
Yeah.
I'm a member fraternity, and for the last 2 years, all of us been selling this popcorn, man. And this year, we just decided we were going to find a black candle maker in Philadelphia.
Ooh.
We found
Oh,
one, but what
nice,
I'm saying to
nice.
you, this might be an opportunity for you, especially reach out to the Divine Nine as part of their fundraising activities. I could tell you the smallest chapter sold 10,000, and
Wow.
Philadelphia sold $126,000
Ooh.
in popcorn.
I'm moving
But
out to
here's but
Philly.
Wow.
here's but here's the thing. It wasn't it wasn't black owned. The after selling so much, we realized that there was no incentives. So one of the things I
Mm.
would say you might think about is having the Divine Nine as your foot soldiers,
Right.
is develop
Mhm.
a sales program for them. And the other thing that I'm gonna do for you, I'm a member of the Stan Matthews Business Network. It's a Black business network. We just had a Shop Black Week. We meet every Monday. It's about 70 of us. We can have a guest come in. give you 30 seconds to spotlight your activity. So let's talk afterwards, and I will pay for you to be my guest to come on, and you can
Oh,
talk
thank you.
about your product. But here's the thing:
Thank you.
after the event, you're going to get a lead generation report. And then you can follow up with
Mm.
everyone who was on the conference call. And like I say, usually
Wow.
it's about 70 people. So now what you have Christmas coming. This would
Right.
be an
Okay.
ideal holiday event for Kwanzaa. We even celebrate the Jewish holidays. You
Menorahs,
know what I mean?
menorahs so
Yeah,
good.
you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So let's talk, and and I will do that for you. But I do think reaching out to the divine now. I am so sick of that popcorn, boy. And we made this company millions of dollars.
Wow.
Every black organization, churches, they were selling it. So, but we realized it wasn't black owned, and we were doing a disservice. So,
Wow.
where you located at? You're in Harlem,
New York City,
New
in
York City.
Washington Heights.
Okay, so boy, you got the
Heights, baby.
Masons. Yeah, you got the Masons. You got all these organizations. This is a great holiday,
Right.
Valentine's Day.
All of
So
that.
we'll talk.
Just in
But I'll
case
also be as
day,
my guest.
romantic
Absolutely,
For
night.
sure. For
absolutely.
sure.
Great Friday gift.
Definitely. Right, exactly. Oh, you know what's coming up too? It's the potluck.
Potluck. Yeah.
Everybody doing potluck at
Oh yeah,
work.
yeah. Right, right.
So,
That is very
aha.
true.
And Secret
Okay.
Santa.
Right,
Secret
right. That's
Santa.
what it,
Yep.
that's what it's called. Right,
Yeah.
right, right. See, I don't really
Oh,
participate in those things, but um, yeah, I really don't. So I want to say, is it very important for you to have a mentor when you starting up your business, Joseph?
Oh, it's very important. It's very, very important. I've actually utilized the free service with, oh God. Well, the Department of Labor, they actually have divisions where
Mm-hmm.
they have free programs um, to help individuals like me at that time who was very new to, it was, to learn how to get business funding and everything that
Mm.
my friend said here was totally accurate. You need a DUNS number. DUNS is really important. You need that business credit because you don't want
Mm-hmm.
to use your own credit. And if things go south, you're
Mm-hmm.
responsible, you know. And I'm an
right.
LLC,
Mm.
Right.
and I mean, there's most liabilities. I'm not. I mean, of course, I have insurance too, but most liabilities I'm personally not liable for. But if you don't know what you're doing, you will get yourself in
Absolutely.
big trouble, especially with taxes.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
But a mentor is, if
Okay.
you
Wow.
listen, if a mentor is extremely important. And thankfully I didn't go in with the attitude, oh, I know everything. Oh, I went on YouTube and now I'm an expert. No, it doesn't work that way. No.
And
And yeah, and actually, there was a class that I took in Harlem, and she was one of the brightest women I've ever met, and she was actually the one who wrote uh, uh, the application for funding for businesses.
mm,
So she knew exactly what
Mm.
she was talking about. She was like, "Do not watch a YouTube video and think you know everything."
right.
But
And
that's
after
YouTube
that class,
University.
Yeah.
I mean, no, no.
You go
It's
there. You go
helpful.
there after
It's
you go to
helpful.
the hard knocks. That's when you know
Yeah,
you
Right.
actually
uh,
person.
it's
So that,
oh yeah, it's
Mhm,
definitely
mhm.
helpful, but it's not something that you have to 100%, use. And especially these people who talk about funding and things like they're not even mostly not even in your state, so it's different.
Right. The state's
it's
right.
interesting you
But
say that
yeah,
because I'm going through that. I'm going through that right now. Like we opened up a business account with a certain bank, and
right.
now all of a sudden they want to send me pre-approved loans on my name. But I'm saying, Why you send it to my business? Send it to my
Right,
business.
right.
I don't want people to know it on my name, and then I just know if there's
Right.
something go wrong, and then I'm responsible for it. Put it
Right.
on that LLC because it's limited
Right,
liability in that
Yeah.
situation.
right,
You know what I'm
right.
saying?
Mm-hmm.
I do want to. I want to expand that question and pass it over to Eugene because in another business venture that I'm working on dealing with wholesale and real estate, they said it's very important not only to have a mentor but also to have a coach, right? And they
Yes.
said these are your five best friends. One of your five best friends is the mentor, one is the coach, and then the accountant, and then several others. So I just want Eugene to tell me the differences between a mentor and a coach and how these different persons interplay within the role of an entrepreneur.
I kind of see a mentor, and when I look at Shanice, she has been a mentor to so many young women in the community. And what I
Thank
mean
you.
by that is if you can't be the example, show the example. And she has been the
Mm-hmm.
example. So if someone says, I'm in this situation, I can't overcome it, I can't overchange my life, he's been someone who has said, listen to my story and walk with me. So the
Hmm.
Right.
mentor gives guidance, gives you the information, and leads the path. The coach is really specific either on you or your business. And
Mm-hmm.
I describe it that being an owner, executive director, it is a lonely position because it's just you got to figure it out. You got to figure out the bills, you got to figure out how to make this work. And just to have somebody come in and give you some advice. I just want to give you an example. I'm working with a young lady who sells plants, stones, crystals. She calls it a healing center,
Mm-hmm.
but she's running the
Mm-hmm.
business on her personal savings. Okay, so you cannot sustain yourself. So as a coach,
Right.
she says, I want to do this, I want to do that, I want to do this. I was like, hold up. What we got to do is figure out how do we get this out of your pocket? When does your money run out? February. Okay, so our only focus right now is how do you get revenue? So the coach is focused specifically on how do I get you from one place to the other. Another thing I want to tell you, coaches have coaches. You know,
Mm-hmm.
we are not absolute, and I went to the Harlem Endowment Fund and I was in their 3-year growth plan, and I had coaches that mentored and coached me on how to develop. So what I know from working with people, but that's what the coaches, and I'll just say lastly, I remember being a nonprofit executive director, and it's Friday, payroll is due, and the board not answering the phone. What
Mm.
Uh, that's never good.
what do you do? So the coach is working with you. How do we make sure that we don't get to this situation again? What do we do? I will tell you. Lastly, I want to say about 40% of the companies that I work with don't have an operating budget. They have no idea where they are at on a monthly basis. They know, oh, well, Mr. Campbell, I bring in about 5,000. Okay, well, how much goes out? you
Right,
know, you
right.
really don't know where you are at. So what I do is let's create a budget so you could take a look. I remember taking a look and I realized I was spending almost $300 a month on apps. I had Sales Navigator, I had Zoom, and I started looking. I was like, wow, this is a
Wait,
lot of
hold
money
up. Right. Mm-hmm.
just for apps. So that is the difference. The mentor is giving you an example and giving you the nourishing and helping you walk where you want to go, not necessarily in your business. And Joe, and I'll just say you too. I mean, your story is another story that you have been a mentor to young people, and sometimes Joe, you don't even know that you're being a mentor to someone because
I
they don't,
know. It's so
they don't
true.
always step up, but they're like, wow, that guy turned his life around, and this guy's doing a podcast. He done married a beautiful woman. He done got his degree. That's
Yes,
mentor setting the example, but the coach should
absolutely.
be specifically focused on your business or some aspect of that.
That's it.
Thank
Right.
you, Eugene.
Absolutely.
Appreciate that. Yeah.
Shanice,
Um,
I'm really happy
yes.
for you. I'm so happy for
Thank
you.
you.
Like, that is so
Thank
amazing. I
you.
love to hear, like, it's like, and this is the reason why universal respect is so important, because just
Absolutely.
because
Hmm.
you were mopping the floors,
Hmm.
last year, maybe next year, you might be the CEO.
Right.
Right.
Be careful who you laugh at,
Yeah.
It's true. I just told my old supervisor, I said, so do you want to come work with me? So she was like, what? I said, yeah, because I'm going to have my own and I might call you. And she looked at me. Yeah, how about that? But
Right.
that's okay. You don't see the vision
And you
right now,
can't get no
mama.
vacation days either.
Yeah.
And no
Yeah.
vacation days. You
Uh,
never know. And like you
yeah.
said, you don't
Never know.
treat people messed
Yeah.
up. Anytime when I did work in the bathroom, I try to make it as pleasurable, or I just had fun wherever I
Right.
was at. I just had
Right.
fun going to sweep up or cleaning up somebody's throw up. I still try to have the
Right.
fun out
Absolutely.
of anything. And Joe, you
Absolutely.
know that because I'll be like,
Yes. Yeah.
so with that, look,
So
Yeah.
look
true.
how we have grown from there. So
Yes.
Absolutely.
you never know.
And you
I
Absolutely.
know what?
appreciate
Someone
that.
told me, someone told me 2 weeks ago, right?
Hmm.
He told me, he was like, "Oh, you make candles?" I said, "Yeah, I make candles. It's all about empowerment and helping somebody." He's like, "Wow, that's really gay."
Wow.
I said, "Okay." I said, "Hey, that's fine with me." I said,
Why
if
would
I
you
can
say
call my
that?
you know what it's just ignorance. Ignorance is
Yeah,
bliss.
yeah.
And I'm like, wow, like, so I am basically a black business, trying to, make something else of my life, make something of my life.
Right.
And here you claim that, you put such a negative, derogatory eh, claim on what I'm doing. Like, what happens if I was doing something else? I
Right.
mean,
Right.
can't make everybody happy. That's what I'm
Well, my
saying.
Right.
You
question
cannot
for
make
him is,
everybody happy.
right. Back in the days when I was coming up, we used to have these stories that we would read in school, in elementary school, and so forth and so on. And I remember
Right.
one specific story where they talked about the butcher, the baker, the candlestick maker, and
Mhm.
everyone else.
Mhm.
Right,
Nowadays, everybody wants to be a basketball player, a lawyer, a doctor, but all of these other positions and all of these other entrepreneurial things that you could be doing in the community, nobody has control of them.
right,
What you think? You think that our community can't make candles? Our
right,
community can't make stuffed teddy bears? Our community
right,
can't make underwear? We need all of these different positions in our businesses and communities. So for you to
right.
say that, this just shows that you have an ignorant state. You don't
Yes.
understand that this infrastructure that we need in our communities of
Right,
people that are business owners.
right, right,
Right. Exactly. Dad, you know
right.
what? My phone just cut off because I guess it didn't like that craziness that he said either. So it just blinked me all the way out. Cause in
That,
my
that,
head, I'm saying a whole bunch of stuff. Like, that's crazy. So I want to ask y'all before we close, I want to ask, like, what's the next steps for you, Mr. Eugene Campbell? What's your next steps? Like, what are you getting into for the new year? 2022 is around the corner. Oh my goodness.
ah,
Oh
Absolutely.
my goodness.
First thing I want to say, good brother, keep the faith. You need haters. You
yes,
need,
yes,
and because the only job of the hater is to make you question your faith. They don't
right,
serve any other purpose. And so
Right.
every now and then somebody will come along and say, well, why are you a coach? And why are you making candles? And why are you working with women with domestic violence? And yeah, you keep asking me. If the only thing you do is charging me up. My
right,
vision is I'm creating a virtual platform. The reality is that we are going to need to be flexible, and in person it's going to take some time. So we are working on is creating a virtual coaching platform that if you're up at 2 o'clock in the morning and you said, well, I want to learn how to start a business, you can go to our platform, you can look at a video, you can get an article, and get the documents, and you can get it started. So the thing is to be flexible. And what we want to do is create a business coaching network. And, that's what my goal is. And keep building networks like we just, doing here right now. I made another friend, and I see a way that we could help each other. But
Right.
yeah, that's what our goal is. Our goal is to create a virtual platform. We are talking with a group in Minnesota.
Nice.
So, if we can create that platform, then people could be able just, I can coach them in the group via Zoom, but then they can create a
Hmm.
learning lab on their own.
That's awesome.
Absolutely. Ooh, that's great. And
Awesome.
I do believe I should be in that index for a life coach, Mrs. Ali,
Done.
be in there.
Done. And one of the ways that you show people that you love and respect them is that when you get where you're going, you remember them.
That's right.
Absolutely.
You remember them. You say, you know what?
Absolutely.
Shanice, remember we was talking on 125th Street 4 years ago, and
Right. Wow.
we were just, we were just venting, and look
Hmm.
at us now,
Right.
Right.
So
Absolutely.
you got to stay true, but that's why you need those haters,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
Shanice had a bunch of
Keep you
haters.
keep me
Yeah.
going. Keep me
Keep you
going
Yeah.
going,
because I
but
have
stay
people that
blessed.
said to me, "Do you sleep?" And I'm like, "Wow." They was like, "Okay, so during the pandemic, you came out with a book,
Yeah,
you got married, you started your business,
yeah,
LLC with that, and then you got a podcast, and then you got."
yeah,
I said,
absolutely.
"Child, let me tell you, one day at a time." And now I'm learning to give myself an hour. And this is what I'm telling people before we get
Yeah,
into you, Joe. I'm telling
Mhm.
people because people is so quick to say, "I don't have time. I don't have time."
yeah,
Yes, you do have time. If you
Right.
could give
Right.
yourself 1 hour and stay disciplined. So if you start something at 10, at 11 o'clock, you should be done,
absolutely,
or and do it the next day. And that's how
absolutely,
I Am Phenomenal Journal Workbook came along. Every day
absolutely.
I put in an hour every
Yeah,
day. It could have been a little bit more,
sure.
but at the end of the day, that's an hour is a startup.
Yeah,
Right. Right.
If you could get yourself fully done over
hmm
to go out to party,
hmm hmm
okay, give yourself an hour for yourself. If you
absolutely.
could if anybody who is indulging in CBD, if you got the time to do whatever you got to do to make it, comfortable for you, you
Absolutely.
have time. So
Yeah,
let's stop saying we don't have time
Right.
when we focusing on everything and everybody else and not have time
right.
and not give ourselves that one
Absolutely.
hour.
Right.
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
that's my mic dropping.
Uh, what is your plans? Where you going with this thing,
What?
Mr. Core?
Oh,
Oh, I'm
Joseph.
sorry.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's
So
Wait,
probably
say
what's
it
your
one more
next?
time.
the same question that you asked Eugene, right?
Oh,
Yeah. What's your next?
oh,
What's next for you?
well, now like the candle line is it focuses on individuality.
Hmm.
I want to create something that is that ties in with relationships. So, it's really important, like I guess I made a little bit of a mistake last time. I did adult candles and I kind of put like these bad names on them. But it was at that time I was,
Yeah,
but people
Oh.
love them.
yeah,
But I had to stay
Hmm.
true to who I am. And I
Hmm.
don't want to tarnish, not tarnish, but I don't want to, ruin my brand by, like
Hmm.
putting something, oh, yeah, yeah, this is a sexual thing, oh, this is what he's known for, his sex candles, which
Hmm.
no. But I thought about it and I was like, hopefully by next year I should have a line that is exclusive for couples. It could be like warm body or something like that, but something that's dedicated to building a spiritual, a healthy, relationship with your partner. Sometimes,
Mm,
we get busy with work, we get busy with school. Like you said, if you don't dedicate that hour to whatever you need to make that change, you'll never change. So even if you could
that's true.
dedicate that hour with your partner and just have like a date night, or like a movie night, and kind of like light up the candle, and then whatever happens after that, let
Hmm.
me help you.
Right.
Hmm.
That connection is important too. That love and appreciation for your partner is really important, especially in nowadays.
It
Mm.
is true. So
Especially in nowadays.
maybe something like love language.
Yeah, something like
Hmm.
that. Something like
Do
I
it
don't
right.
know.
They get you for that
Right.
copyright. You're gonna
I
be in
know,
some
but I'm just
Oh,
saying.
look,
yeah.
I do have a hard question for both of y'all before we close this out, right? And this is a question that has been coming up. My wife is taking her MBA, and I'll be reading her books too. So I want to know the information too. So
Right.
one of the courses she has is called Marketing in the Flat World, right? And it's
Mhm.
talking about basically what Mr. Campbell was talking about earlier about scaling and like how
Mhm.
do you scale
Yes.
business, right? Now for you with the candle, I see that you're very focused on you being the one that designs these candles and put the love in them, the Reiki, as you said, into the
Right.
candles, right? But when it comes time to scale, right?
Mhm.
Do you engage in a drop shipping method? Do you have somebody in the Philippines making the candles or China? And as for Mr. Campbell, the same thing. Like when you're going for leads, do you put a virtual assistant in the Philippines and have an acquisition manager somewhere in Russia somewhere? How do y'all scale these businesses and still have time for yourselves? What's your
Mm.
views on that? Is it okay to expand to different international markets and deal with people who may be getting paid less than you? What are your views on these type of things? Scaling.
Mr.
Well,
Eugene. Hmm.
well, here's my thing. I have virtual assistants, and I have them out of the Philippines. I have two people from Nigeria. I don't believe in slave wages. And people have said to me, "Oh, you could pay them $1 or $2." No, I don't believe that. I believe whatever I was going to pay someone here is the same thing that I would pay there. And I can tell you, what we pay here goes a long,
That's
long
true.
way over there.
Hmm.
But I think it would be, kind of hypocritical. And the other thing that I've done for my virtual assistants is create ways for them to get additional revenue. So for this Shop Black Week with NBN, I said, I'm not asking for any money, but if you want somebody to do the lead generation, then you need to hire my virtual assistant.
Hmm.
I want my virtual assistant at some point to run his own company, and then I'm subcontracting him for the services that he provides. But I want to first say my first preference is to keep the dollars in the community. So I do have staff that work in the community. And again, I don't. I believe that you should have a living wage, and a living wage is not a minimum wage. The second thing is I encourage people to get training, so I will pay people. So like next week is Thanksgiving, we're closed Thursday and Friday. Already have you budgeted, and I would say, you know what? If you take those 8 hours, 16 hours, or 2 days, and take a training, I'll pay you for it.
Hmm.
I want you motivated with the fact that you know that I'm invested in you. And then
Right.
the second thing is that you have a way of earning money. And I'll just say, lastly, that I remember Shanice talking about mopping floors. Boy, we all started from mopping floors, man.
Yep.
you know,
Yeah.
and we all started with there was no money to pay us.
Hmm.
In the early days there was no money to pay us, and so that is key. But I think our first objective: can we spend those dollars in the community? Can we hire people from the community, which I'm big on? And then if you have to go outside of that, can you find people that look like you but also make sure that you pay them a living wage. Because if I'm
Right.
paying what you paying somebody in China, then I think I'm being hypocritical. The last thing I'll say, when I have coaching calls, I even bring them on and say, here's an opportunity for you to talk to the people I'm working with, and as long as you don't take what they hired me to do, I don't have any problem. And I'll just say, lastly to you, brother, this candle business, here's the plan. We're going to create a distribution center. You go to those Greek organizations, and I'm saying, wasn't it Madam C.J. Walker who went
Yes,
door to
yes,
door?
yes, yes.
Okay, so think of all those civic organizations at the Mason House on 155th Street. There must be 8 houses there. You go there and you say, you know what? Here's a way that we both win. You
Right.
know, and I'll develop a program for you. So I want to thank again, thank you both for inviting me, and it's my honor and my pleasure to be here to speak my mind.
With the Ali's.
With the Ali's.
Well, we definitely want to get you back on so that way you can do the
Awesome.
PowerPoint,
Yeah,
do the slides, and you can
absolutely.
break down some more stuff. So we thank you so much. I
Thank you.
appreciate you, and you dropped some great tools that have all of us like,
Right. Right.
So, Mr. Ali, he must be busy. Are we going to open up the floor to any calls today?
Nah, I don't think we're gonna open up today for no calls because, well, we can open up. We can do a couple calls, right? So I'm gonna open it up for some calls. If anybody want to call in and ask these gentlemen some questions, because they definitely dropped some good information, gave us some good energy on a Sunday here at the Speak Your Mind podcast with the Ali's. I need a candle night tonight. I ain't even gonna lie. I need a candle and just relax, listen to my Scott, and just next week is born day, right? So I want to be in good energy going forward into my born day. I'm going to be 44 years old.
Wow, amazing.
Maybe we should go to the 40-40 club. I don't know.
Yeah,
we should do something.
The 40-40 club. Sade and candles.
That's
right.
Sade and candles, man.
Wow, that's so funny.
Excellent.
Yes, it is your birthday coming up. I'm so excited. I definitely need some candles. But and it's true, he do need a candle today because his energy been kind of off, and I've been picking it up. So
and you know what I do too? Oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
Hello?
Go ahead, Joseph. Yeah.
Oh, I was gonna say real quick. I also do collaborations, right? I collaborate with certain, I guess, like agencies or like nonprofits. I actually teamed up a couple of years ago with a battered women's shelter in Queens, and I met the owner, and she was amazing. Like, she's amazing. She's so amazing, and I donate like a dozen or 2 dozen of candles to their organization. And she's like, I try to do it every year, so I come out with as legally as I possibly can, not to get a charge for infringement, which I did before, but I try to come up with a name that, that's in line with them. And if I do sell those candles for like that month or like those 2 months, proceeds go over to the organization.
Nice. Okay.
You said a word. You said a word. I got to bring you back. You said a word. That's something unknown. You said a word. Infringement. Today's word is infringement.
Infringement. Okay? Yes. I have gotten sued.
What's infringement?
Infringement. I got sued from when I first incorporated. It was Jcore, like basically my freaking name, my name. And someone else has the same name, and my lawyer contacted me, and she's like, "Oh, Joseph, I got some bad news. I got some good and bad news." I was like, "All right, give me the good news." She's like, "You can get out of it." I was like, "What's the bad news?" She said, "They're suing you." So basically, she was like, if you want to fight the case, you can. But I would have to write a 5-page document explaining what makes you different from this particular brand. And she was like, it's really up to the judge after that statement. I was like, she said it's very risky. I wouldn't take it. You just need to change. She was like, best bet, change your name. And I was like, you know what? I'm changing my name because it was just too close. I mean, we both had the same name, and with the whole government, like the USPTO, I read up on those laws, and those laws are like, they're there to protect.
Huh? What acronym is that?
Oh, it's UPSTO, I think.
Okay.
I forgot. Oh God, I forgot.
United States Patent and
Trademark Office. Yeah, there we go.
Yep.
So yeah, I knew them. I knew them very well after that incident. I was like, "Who are you?"
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, now you want to forget about them.
Absolutely.
Yes.
And it's crazy that because that's another one of the 5 best friends that they said you should have as an entrepreneur.
Yes.
You should have a mentor, a coach, a lawyer, and an accountant. And I'll have the next one for you next week. I forgot what the last one is, but these are the people that you really need to have as your core people in your life as an entrepreneur, because you don't want to be doing these things alone without the professionalism of these type of
Right. Yeah. And the good thing was that, I think I paid, what was it? I paid $5,000 for her. $5,000. And guess what? I complained about that $5,000 to this attorney. Like, what I mean to tell you, I complained. But then I thought about it. Someone's like, you know what? That you only paying $5,000. But if you were stubborn and went ahead and got and lost the case, it would have been millions of dollars that I would have to be, and absolutely. I don't even have not even a quarter of that, So I'm like, and then when I thought about it, and I was like, you know what, you're right, whatever, 5,000 for her to respond back to their lawyers or whatever, that's fine.
Right. So I just want people to hear, those who's watching and those who will watch later. I want you to pretty much get a great understanding when you say you want to start your own business. It's a lot of paperwork to get have prepared. And if your paperwork do not line up with the next set of paperwork, you're going to get pushed back. That's number one. I'm not going to say I got pushed back, but it was like questions. I might miss a question. They send it back. I might forget to put the INC. They send it back. It was just and I was like, okay, hold up. Let me just really sit back, because you're so anxious. You want to get it done that you're forgetting certain things. And I pretty much, with the help of my friend Chris Rose, him and I worked it out. I would do the paperwork. He would fax it over. And also, you can fax over your paperwork, and it's a little bit quicker versus sending it out. So I want to say that as well. Having Eugene Campbell as someone I consult to, as well as my husband I consult to, is great, great, great. As y'all hear Joseph talk about his candles, how he came across a couple of boo-boos and things of that nature. And he understand that sometimes, like Chinese restaurants, they would change their name so quick. You be like, wait, wasn't it Soup Kong? And then there's somebody else there, but it's the same people.
Yo, that is so true. That is so true.
So with that, sometimes we have to give up something that the name, we could keep the product. It's still us, but sometimes you got to drop that name to not get sued. So he wasn't stubborn, and we dropped some great names or some great words that husband and I is learning as well, infringement, and the trademark
USPTO.
people make sure the ESPT. I'm actually working on that as well myself. The clothing line, I want my clothing line to be trademarked all the way, because I don't want other people using it. Also, yes, you can have other people in Nigeria or China that can
Hmm.
help you, but
Hmm.
let's make sure we keep some
Absolutely.
employees in our community. Just
Absolutely.
like
Right.
Joe, as I'm watching and
Right.
I'm hearing so much about what you're saying about your candles, maybe you should start, and I'm big on this, get some of our youth involved with learning how to do the candle making, so
Yeah,
that
of
way
course.
you just employed maybe two people. So while
Right.
you at work, those two youngsters will be working on the candles after you
Absolutely.
train them properly.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Absolutely.
that way you
Absolutely.
just gave them jobs, and
Yes.
maybe you could get money from that, to continue to employ other children and
Right.
help them
Absolutely
run their
right.
business line. So
Absolutely.
Right.
that's what I'm thinking as we talk.
Oh
So
yeah,
with
I
that,
definitely think that it's definitely important to to continue on and to pass this
right,
along so people can make
absolutely.
money, because it's a candle making is a $1 billion industry. There's enough money for
What?
everybody.
I know that's
So
right.
that's a very good point.
It's
Abundant.
true because we went to. I'm sorry, honey. Real quick, we went to a vendor event. I think it was in the summertime, and
Hmm. Hmm.
my brother, and his wife, they actually have candles, and it's actually named that after my nieces, and
Oh,
oh my god, mango and coconut milk is so delicious. Oh my god, it smells so
I
good.
could imagine.
So and they had oils. It was so the way they had presented on the table. Eugene met my brother,
Yeah.
and let me tell
That's
you.
right. Uncle Eugene ran down
Yeah.
on us.
Yeah.
Look, I didn't even. I knew. I kind of because you was asking me where we were gonna be, and
Yeah.
he actually showed up. So that was super dope. Now the vendor events, like when you present it and you talk to people and you tell them determine and explain what
Right.
it mean. Those people will be like, "Oh my God, give me like two," because
Yes.
look how you just had us something. And when I tell you, uh, you will listen.
And
Them vendor events will
if
get you
you
out there even
know,
more.
I'm sorry, not to cut you off.
Uh huh.
If you
Yes.
know any vendors or like events that, like what do you call those pop-up shops in like
Mhm.
Harlem or like in the Heights,
Mhm.
please let me know.
Okay,
Because
I
I know
will.
with COVID, there used to be so many. Now it's like all that is like
Yeah. Yeah.
gone.
Yeah. No,
And
they
that's a
have them.
good moneymaker.
Yeah, they have them. Trust me, they have them because we will be going back up there. What was that again?
That was in Wilkes-Barre.
Yeah, Woodsbury. We'll be
Oh,
back up there
Woodsbury.
next year.
But it was one in Harlem just the other day. But we've been so consumed with so much stuff and
I could imagine.
applying the grants and just
Right.
developing our business and we got. Matter of fact, we got some. Hold on. We got some inventory here. Hold on for a second.
We about to show the inventory. Yeah.
That's right.
So I'm gonna tell you about the jackets. So the jackets is something I actually have one too that's gonna be coming out soon.
Oh,
However,
nice.
with the yeah,
Oh,
those are the
wow.
red
That's
and black.
really
Wow.
nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, with the logo. And I just want to change the narrative, call me king, not nigga.
Nigga.
And the
I love
purpose of
that. I
that,
love that.
yeah, thank you. Like I said, we want to change the narrative and stop saying, "Hey, my nigga, I'm not a nigga, I'm a king."
That's right.
I don't know how you see yourself, but
Oh, I
Wow.
love
you
that.
know,
Okay.
yeah. So that's
Yeah.
the brown with the
Yeah.
black, and it
Wow.
has a zipper,
I
and
love
in the
Mm.
that.
middle,
I
And
love
yeah,
that.
I see the lining
yes,
on the inside too. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's lining, and it's also the leather is leather because you can
Right.
definitely smell. I'm not gonna
Right.
give out no crappy,
Yeah.
and that's the black with
Right.
the black on black,
Hmm.
I love that.
right?
Wow.
I
Yeah,
really love
thank
that.
you.
I love black on black.
So it's
Mm.
funny how we talked about the boo boos, right? So I came across a couple of boo boos when it came down to the jackets. It was one jacket we sold to someone, the button came off. And once again, this is not our fault. This is actually being handmade.
Ah,
The next couple of jackets that's coming is going to be different flavors as I put up on Facebook and give people some vision of what the Tims, how you can rock it. I don't sell Timbs, but I sell them jackets. So
Love them.
yeah, I just want people to see how you can rock your clothes, because when you don't give someone a vision of what they're about to buy or purchase, then I don't need it, I don't want it, whatever the case may be. I started up a business with my daughter, is La Asia Lashes,
Mm-hmm.
and La Asia is
I saw
actually,
that on Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
exactly. And La Asia is actually her middle name. So I feel like implement that in there. And
Right.
she's 26 and they love them big old
Yeah.
eyelashes that be they
Yeah.
love those things that be like they close their eyes. Oh my goodness. So
Ooh.
I started that with her. And it's so funny because I told
Yeah.
my our grandson, I said, I want your mom to be a boss. I'm teaching her how to be one.
Right.
And he turned around and told me he was already rich. I was like,
Wow.
okay. And you only 6 years old. All right. I'm not even going to argue with you, young man. He's 6 and he already told me he already rich. Okay, no
Yeah.
problem.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, she did not see the vision until she saw the box and she saw those lashes, and she's like, "Ma, I need like 2 boxes," and I'm trying to get her to understand. Stop saying we don't have money. Stop saying we
Right.
don't have money when you have inventory in this house.
Right.
Okay. My little sister, I started, but she's not little. They in their 30s. Well, be in their 30s. Well, they be 30 next year. I started with a book with her. I Am Phenomenal,
Oh, that's
and it's on
amazing.
Amazon. And
Amazing.
inside of that book, it's talking about our DV story. My sister and I. She had a story. I had a story. We put that in there. We talked about the pages. We talked about the journal book, the quotes that her and I had did together. So I just want to leave behind a legacy for our youth, our people behind us. Even my stepdaughter, I wanted her to start writing books. She writes well. So I even
Right.
told her, write a book. It's let's get it started. Let's get them
Right.
thinking. Let's
Right.
get their mind, change their mindset from being us working from 9 to 5 and actually have people working for them nine
Right.
to five.
Right.
So
Right.
with that,
Right.
I say I'm
I ain't
done.
gonna lie. I ain't even gonna lie. I can sit here and talk to y'all all day. Y'all, it's
Oh.
it's still some questions to the
Yeah.
stuff that y'all spoke about that I would like to answer. I mean, like I would like to get answers from y'all right now. But if we do that, we'll be here till the middle of the afternoon to the evening and so forth and so on. So we gonna have to do a part 2. Y'all gonna have to come back. Y'all have to continually come back if y'all got
Absolutely.
a new product or a new
Yeah.
service that you're offering. You can always come back to Speak Your Mind podcast with the Ali's and speak
Mm-hmm.
your mind and promote your
Absolutely.
product, promote your service.
Absolutely.
So close out.
Absolutely.
Go ahead, close out.
Well, who? It's
Yeah,
like 3 of us up
come
here.
on, come on. Y'all been shooting
Okay.
it out all this time. Go
Hey,
ahead.
listen. I just want to say, with all the things that Shanice was saying, here's just a quote. An unknown author once said that the purpose of life is to have a life of purpose.
Right.
Make sure that your
Mm,
life has a purpose, and that's why you do what you do, to run your businesses and control your own destiny. So the purpose of life is to have a life of purpose.
Right. Right.
amen to
Right.
that. Look,
Right.
you took me to church. All right. I like that one.
Yes, sir. Go ahead,
Well,
Joe.
thank you. I just live every day to the best of your ability. And
I
if
know
you
that's
need
right.
help, just ask for it. Ask for
Hmm.
help.
Hmm.
It's so important. A lot of people, especially are in our community, we people walk around and they just feel like crap, and
Yeah.
they have
Yeah.
no one to talk to. They
Yeah.
have nowhere to go,
Mm-hmm.
but
Hmm.
they're not asking for the help. If you
Right.
don't
Hmm.
ask, you won't know.
Right.
You won't receive.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Hmm.
ask for help.
Yeah.
That's it. And stay determined.
Absolutely.
Stay determined. Stay
That's
determined.
right.
Oh, wait, wrong one. Beautiful mind. Stay determined. There you go. There you go.
With your beautiful mind. That's it.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Thank you
Thank
so,
you.
so much. I
Thank
appreciate all
you.
of you.
Yes, yes.
Thanks for coming out.
Oh, I love that.
Black women, all kinds of women in all walks of life trying to get their life together, knowing that we don't need men to hurt us. We love ourselves first. You love yourself first, everything else will come after that. So I'm excited to see what's going to happen with this organization, WAPW. And
bunch of queens from WAPW that I can turn to anytime, day or night, and my queens have my back.
Peace to the people. We out of here. See you next week.
All right.
Peace.